Alright, what is up people? Ishbu here. Hope y'all are having a nice day. So I'm going to be coming at you with another Hero League video guide. This time I'm going to be playing Varian, specifically Taunt Varian for those of you wondering. I do not acknowledge other types of Varian as legitimate, so sorry TBK Zord. Twin Blade's not exactly a thing. Anyways, this is going to be another Grandmaster / Master Hero League breakdown. This game is made up of a mix of both. Not many names to recognize this time, but still some of you might if you're familiar with the scene at this level. Anyways, just doing quick, this is going to be a breakdown of two things. One of just me playing Varian, and a second breakdown of specifically how to snowball a game of Towers of Doom. Now, just a warning before you watch this game, it's going to be pretty one-sided. Actually, it's slightly less so than my last Garrosh guide. I'm going to try and update some more close games in the future so that people can see what to do during those situations. Right now, I really just want to get one concept through a lot of people's heads, and this is how to control the enemy's bot fort on Towers of Doom. I see a lot of people make mistakes around this when they could really just snowball the game to all the way to the end. You'll see in a lot of competitive games, people will take the enemy, if you watch any of our team's games on this map, we take the enemy's fort and we don't let them have it back unless they beat us in a fight or dive us like 5v4 under the tower. You want to hold to this thing as long as you can, and you'll see why in this game it will result in a pretty quick snowball. Now, breaking down teams real quick, one of the reasons I did pick Varian is the enemy team did pick Tracer. Also really good into Greymane as well. Varian really good into auto attack heroes and that don't have a lot of spell damage, which also makes him pretty decent into Junkrat. Junkrat's not really burst spell damage, he's like poke spell damage, and obviously Riptire can do a lot of spell damage, but other than that, he actually does use auto attacks a lot more than most kind of hybrid heroes. So I don't really consider him a huge threat. They're also triple backline. Now the enemy team did hold their support, so I picked Varian and then they picked Uther, which is correct from them. This means they have a cleanse for my taunt. But as you're gonna see, there are ways to play around cleanse as Varian, and also this is Hero League. This isn't the LAN environment. It's very difficult to snap cleanse taunts, especially this is Master GM level, and you're still going to see him not being able to snap cleanse or pre-cleanse my taunts, especially because I start playing mind games with him and start charging but not taunting just to see if I can bait out the cleanse. So if you're not hitting cleanses as your support, don't feel bad. Masters GM players have trouble with this, and especially when you play against good tanks that can play around it, it's going to be pretty dangerous. So last thing before I start the video, breaking down teams. We have a Nazebo which means we have a weak early game. Basically, I don't have one ranged assassin until around like level 7 when Nazebo starts doing damage. That being said, the enemy has a Diablo, so they don't really have a tank for the first couple levels. I mean, I'm Varian, I'm a melee minion for the first 4 levels of the game, so you're not going to see me do anything aggressive till I hit 4. Once I do, though, you're going to start seeing me try to make some pick plays and specifically try to pressure this Tracer a lot. As you're going to see in several points in this game, with this level 1 talent overpower, I'm actually going to be able to do a lot to pressure this Tracer and even solo kill her a few times. Alright, without further ado, let's get this game on the road. So, you're going to see a standard opening. Everyone runs mid mindlessly except for our Sonya. Our Sonya goes top and just decides to push out the wave, which is probably best for her. I mean, gets her to lead on whoever's there. That just means we shouldn't die mid. Now, unfortunately, we're going to do something silly mid and get Junkrat. This Junkrat's going to land a God Mine on my team and end up with 2 kills, which is a really unfortunate way to start off a game. So as I said, we're just sitting here throwing skills back and forth. Junkrat gets a God Mine on 2 people here. I try to pressure the Diablo to keep my team alive, but no can do. We end up losing 2 people. Now, it's important in situations like this to not panic. Do not feel like you have to fight the enemy. Go soak waves. As you're going to notice, this is 2 kills up on us, but because Sonya pushed out that wave, I caught bot wave, and Nazebo caught mid, we're not actually going to end up that far behind in XP. In fact, we're going to be almost even. Another thing you're noticing here, I felt like I was in danger. I see 4 people here. I'm alone, and I'm a melee minion. I don't leave my mount. I don't try to push this wave until I see people have left, and I feel safe to push the wave again. So I just sit on mount out of range of their engage, but in range to soak. Something a lot of people need to do, and like it's something a lot more people need to do when soaking waves in unsafe situations. Alright, 1 minute. For those of you who do not know, 1 minute is the spawn time of these sapper camps, which means both teams are starting theirs. They get a jump on theirs, which means they should invade ours as 4. This Uther should leave, and they should 4-man invade this right now. Especially because I'm a weak Varian early game, and we have a Nazebo. Enemy does not coordinate that though, and we actually get our camp for free. This is a mistake by the enemy team. So once again, we need to get in position. I ping right now mid, telling my team I need one of you guys to go soak mid. No one on my team does. Everyone runs bot. And because of that, I get a delayed rotation here. The enemy makes a very good play on me, and they actually end up getting a kill. This is a good combination of Uther and Diablo. They body block me, get a good wall stun here, and I die, and we miss the soak mid. Now, this is actually really bad for us. This puts us about half a level behind. Phoenix, thankfully, doesn't get punished on his rotation mid. He's going to be able to teleport out as well and get a safe soak there. But what needed to happen is either one of our people from there needed to go mid, or I needed to rotate earlier or safer, so I didn't get picked in there. Can you notice here? Look what I type in the chat. I tell my teammate, hey, Tracer is top, Sonya, be careful, back off. And this is going to get us back in the game, because you're going to notice my whole team knows Tracer is trying to gank top, so what do? Enemy ganks the Stukov, but he knows his limits. He does pretty well here. And I'm now level 4, so I can pressure this Tracer a ton. And goodbye, Tracer. We actually, I believe, get at least one more kill. Yeah, we can keep this Diablo... Oh, actually, is it the Junkrat? Yeah, the Junkrat dies. 2 kills back and deny of EXP on the enemy team. I think my team's going to get the top camp off these two as well. So really good lead from us now. Get some pressure onto this Uther. Nothing too much here. We're just trying to push out waves and keep the enemy safe. Not keep the enemy safe. Keep the enemy on their toes. So, breaking down real quick just what we want to do for this next one. I'm going to pause so I can talk a bit about this. Triple altar spawn was always one of the most complicated things on Towers of Doom, and a lot of people mess this up. The biggest thing that you can do, though, on the triple altar phase on any Towers of Doom is make sure you have someone in position to capture your altar the second it spawns. Both teams are a little slacking on this, ours more than the enemy, but you need to be on this thing the second it spawns. Because if you are even the slightest bit late, problems will start to arrive. That means don't push out another wave, like don't do that type of stuff unless you like specifically know you don't want to contest the mid one. Because what's going to happen is a lot of times teams are going to put one person to cap their altar and 4 people to fight bot. If you are on your altar and the enemy is not on theirs, you then get to rotate down and get a 5v4 until the enemy captures their altar. And if they don't, they just come down, then well the enemy hasn't captured their altar. That's the point. You can then stall them, go get theirs, and ignore bot completely. This is how you win 2 altars in the 3 altar phase. Speed on getting on these altars is actually critical, and I really rarely see people do it. Now in this game, no one's contesting bot immediately, so we have a little bit more time, and we're going to have a 3v2 because Junkrat just respawned. So it's a little bit better in this case, but just something I want to emphasize here for future reference. So we push out mid, and we're going to do the standard what I just said, 4 commit to bot. Now here's the thing, remember when I said you need to get on this top immediately? Well, because Sonya doesn't get on top immediately, Tracer's able to cap hers and then come harass Sonya here. I think she actually gets it in time. Yeah, she barely gets it in time. This Diablo is sacrificing altar for camp. Honestly, not a bad idea since he wants to scale, but the rest of his team kind of pays for it. The rest of his team really wanted to be fighting us. So this is kind of Diablo making it so his team can't fight, and we get pressure 4v3 down here. Uther ends up dying to try to get this stall. He's a man, but I mean it's ultimately gonna just give us more of an EXP lead. I hate to say it, man, but I don't think this was correct by the Uther to die for this. Yeah, and our Stukov gets a little irritated at it. Anyways, you can see right now we've already got almost all of bot wall because we got a camp in earlier, and this is actually very big. Oh, our Sonya rotates down here for a good thing to make sure we win this. This is nice. So now we're going to set up in position. We see have 2 of them dead. Camps are respawning right now. This means, once again, since we already have most of their wall down, camps are going to start getting really big value because they're getting pushed into this fort. Here's just a little play as Varian. I've said this many times, bushes are your friend as a tank. I actually walk out of the bush. That was a mistake right there. Try and find bushes, try and find places to sneak little ganks on people. You'll get a lot more success than if you just run up to them straightforward. Obviously that one didn't pay off, but it was still something to consider. Alright, bot wall's dead. All pumpkins now go into the fort. We can slowly start taking this fort. Focusing a bit more on my Varian play, Uther now has cleanse, which means I either want to try to taunt Uther when I can, I want to try and taunt people that are far away from Uther, or I want to charge and not taunt. Sometimes I will test his reaction. Alright, no Uther here, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my Stukov to get in range to taunt. I do it right as he gets in range to do his combo. And because of that, we're gonna actually, I think we don't get this kill, but we almost get the kill. Key there, I kept him slowed with my E and my Q, and then I taunted only when Stukov was in range to follow up. Just a little thing tanks should try to do. So my taunt's almost up. I'm going to look for it on Uther so he can't cleanse it, or I'm going to look to threaten Greymane to try and bait out a cleanse. As you see, I do not taunt. I'm trying to bait out cleanse right here. Uther doesn't fall for it, but at this point I kind of realize Uther's not pre-cleansing, which means it's very dangerous for his teammates to be near me. I take up this bush. You watch me play Towers of Doom any day of the week, I will be sitting in this bush. We miss a tiny bit of mid-soak, but honestly this damage on this fort is hugely worth it. I'm completely fine with that trade. My team doesn't follow up too closely here, but I do get some good damage onto Junkrat just by myself. Like, to put in reference, that was just Varian by himself damaging. This level 1 overpower talent is huge for that reason. Alright, enemies in position on this, but they don't have anyone insta-capping, so that's a problem for them. As I said, I'm looking to taunt Uther, or I'm looking to taunt people far away from Uther. I see Tracer's too far from Uther. I try to taunt her in the silence. She gets cleansed, but way too late. She has to walk through the silence, but Diablo gets a good peel. I'm just keeping them perma-slowed here. At this point, we can kind of just play for the 10s. Like, we don't really need to force this, but Greymane goes way too far. So it is a little bit extended, but she can survive a bit better than this Greymane. Taunt is back up. 18-second cooldown, baby. And there we go. We win the altar and get the 10s with it. Now, this is a huge moment. We're 10s, they're not. We have a wave, they don't yet. We should take this fort 100%, and as I said, we should never let it go. So my taunt's coming back up. I'm probably pinging to my team, hey, I want to fight. In this globe, we need to use our 10 advantage. We even have a Nazebo to Gargantuan tank this. We should 100% be diving this fort on this next wave, and you're going to hopefully see that. Using a bush for more clarity. My team's not positioned. Stukov wasn't there ready. Alright, Uther cannot cleanse himself, so I go for the taunt play on Uther. You don't want to go too hard after killing an Uther because he does have his death passive, but in this case, we're just far enough ahead that we can do this. I have Warbringer, so I can keep Diablo perma-slowed. And just like that, we're going to be able to get this fort, and we got Diablo's souls. That's huge. A lot of people have this mistake that Diablo can die once he hits 100 souls. No. Once you're 100 souls on Diablo, you do not want to die, like, at all. Maybe late game team fights, but mid game, no, you will never get your souls back. That's a terrible time to die. Anyways, we're going to get their camp, and now this is the power of controlling bot. We get to slowly pressure camps in over and over. My team, however, makes a mistake here, though, and I'm going to emphasize this. My team does not clear this wave before going back to take our camp. This is a huge mistake. Always clear this wave, because the only time the enemy can get damage on your fort, unless they have, like, a weird siege hero, like a Zagara or Sylvanas or something, is when they can push in their wave. So what we should have done here, rotate down, clear the wave, then go back and take our camp. Something I'm going to emphasize is the waves, like, if you want to know when the waves are coming, on Towers of Doom when controlling bot, notice the waves will always crash right here, or like on your mini-map you can see it right here in this small little area. So I know the next enemy wave is coming when this wave of mine hits this point. So what we should have done is cleared that, and then we'd have until this wave hits this point to take our camp and run back. And it's hard to do it. You gotta be very quick about it, but it is something you can do, and it's something you can do consistently. So what you're going to see is because we don't clear this wave, we end up in a little bit of a panic situation, and the enemy actually like gets some damage back on the structure. I'm trying to ping to my team, hey, let's defend this. My team turns around. The enemy has a wave, though. I focus on the wave first, because then we can fight safely with the fort actually hitting the enemies. Alright, now we're in the correct position. We are trying to push in our things. I go for a reaction test on Uther. I actually almost end up dying here. Diablo makes a good play on me. But fun fact, Varian's parry, even without the upgrade, blocks kill zone shots. Anyways, enemy stays here way too long. They don't actually have very much sustain with Uther, and I believe Phoenix gets a cheese kill here with his ultimate. Yeah, Uther's trying to tank this. They're dying to defend this pumpkin. This is never something you should do. A few shots should not be worth deaths. Alright, I'm backed, and because of this, I get a jump on the top right altar. The enemy team was just bots, so they can't get to the altar as well in time. I see this half-health Greymane, and you know, I'm a Varian. I don't take damage from auto attacks, so, bye, Greymane. Yeah, that's Varian. Anyways, I now want to zone up into this area once my taunt is up so that my team can take this cap. Junkrat's a really big staller, so I really want to make sure he doesn't get anything. We get kind of lucky there. I almost got knocked over this wall. Anyways, we get both altars. Where should we go? Well, right back to bot. We should never let them have this for the rest of this game. And once again, the waves are here. We should clear the wave before taking camp. Unfortunately, you can see where my team is. My Phoenix went top for some reason. That should be Sonya right there. The other 4 of us should have pushed out mid, and we should be back here. We should not be taking this camp. We should be right here. We should clear the wave. We have then from this time, the time from this wave to hit this point to take this camp. And then we'd be able to freely get it and then move up again, clear the wave, and push with it. So this is something I want to emphasize. Push the wave every time it comes. Don't let the enemy push your bot tower with the wave. It makes defending it so much harder. Nazeebo gets engaged on mid, so problem there. Phoenix is out of position. I come down here basically by myself, and, well, Varian by himself we just saw is a very scary beast. So let's, yeah. I get the solo kill on Tracer completely 1v2 as Varian. I don't think the Tracer expected that. Overpower is a little overpowered. Also, combination of Warbringer plus Juggernaut does a lot more damage than people expect. I do die for this. Thankfully, I buy enough time for my team to realize their mistake, get down here and defend this tower. So, at least there's that. Also, I think the enemy team might lose another person going overextended on me here. Actually, no, wait, we do lose this fort, but the enemy team is going to lose a fight here because we are 14 to 12, and because of that, we're going to be able to retake the fort immediately afterwards. Still, it's EXP we shouldn't have ever given them. They shouldn't have ever taken this fort, and we shouldn't have been in this situation to begin with. Anyways, Pumpkins aggro onto the fort, which I don't know if it's good or bad in this case. Honestly, probably good. We want this fort as long as we can. We take back the fort, and we're right back in the same position, so I'm still happy with this. Alright, next altar phase. Here's the other reason bot fort's super important. Next altar phase. Here and here. Where's the enemy retreat to if they lose either of these fights? Right here. Where do they not have a retreat to anymore because we took? Right here. No fountain, no retreat. That's huge. Well, remember when I said clearing waves is important? Enemy team is trying to dive without a wave. What's going to happen? They're going to tank tower shots the second this spawns, and they're just not going to be safe to push this. As long as we keep clearing the waves, the enemy can never dive us. Alright, Tauntaun Uther again. Stukov gets a good follow-up, and I believe we get the kill on him. We all get stunned, though. That's kind of bad. Yeah, enemy team is doing a 4v5 dive under our tower right now. Not very smart from them. Love the little arm cheese kill by Stukov. This is why enemy teams, when you hold this point, start getting desperate and make very bad decisions. What you just saw was a very bad decision by them, and it was because they were desperate. They were tired of us just holding this, and they wanted it back, and we weren't going to give it to them. We now get both of these altars completely for free and get 5 shots off of both of them. Plus, we have pumpkins going on. At this point, the game is firmly in our control. Once again, clear this wave, try to push these pumpkins in. In this case, I don't clear the wave immediately because I want to keep our wave a little bit here. I want to wait for the pumpkins. But not a huge deal there. Alright, we only have 3 people here. I can't push in too far to push this in. Stukov misses his combo, unfortunately. Once again, I'm just trying to bait out cleanses. Phoenix goes way a little too ham. Alright, as you saw, the cleanse was really late from Uther there, and it mixed Tracer, and Tracer doesn't feel safe either way and ends up blowing a recall for no reason. We're 4v5, but we're able to defend this. Now, we should stop pushing up, though. We should just be playing defensively now. There's no more pumpkins, and our Nazeebo isn't here. Enemy is 5 people here. We should just be clearing waves. We go a little ham here, get the D shield, but I think we lose Sonya. Honestly, I don't mind this as much. We almost kill like 3 of them. And the enemy's not really accomplishing anything with their time here, so I'm kind of fine with it. Nazeebo's still split pushing. Still, we probably should have been a little bit farther back than we were. Unless the pumpkins are there, there's not really a good reason to step up. Anyways, we're in firm control of the map. Nazeebo's split pushing by himself, which makes him happy. We're never losing bot. We're now clearing waves. Finally, we do it right. We clear the wave first, then we go back and do the camp. And you're going to notice what the enemy team does, or rather can't do. They can't push into here. Even though we don't have a wave, even though we're not here, they can't push up into here without taking shots. Uther's going to try and do some cheese damage, but there's nothing they can do. They just sit here staring at our tower because they don't have a wave. We get this cleared, and as I said, the waves are going to crash right here. Enemy team gets a jump on our wave, but we're going to be able to get here back in time to clear the wave. I go an aggressive route because I want to look for a gank. Our Stukov's a little AFK, unfortunate. I hit a trap, which was unfortunate. Diablo takes it as a sign to try and go for a one-shot on me, but I'm a little too tanky. Get a taunt when Stukov can get in range, but the tire denies it. Still, Stukov gets the root anyways. Phoenix gets the kill. We now have a triple altar spawn, pumpkins coming, and we have a fort up on them. And a kill up on them. Like, this is GG no matter how you slice it. This is a little awkward fight. I believe Sonya doesn't get this kill, but we should just, at this point, we're trying to get our pumpkins in. We should get bot for free, and then we should just go for top left. Varian blocks death zone shots. No real threat there. We get our bot. I believe we get these pumpkins in. Actually, yeah, Phoenix dies for the kill for style points. We only get 2 pumpkins in, so we don't actually end with that. So we just need to get this top left at this point. Game's pretty kind of clowny right now. Sonya just wants to fight them. Enemy team's just trying to get a kill because they've realized they've lost. Varian gets to do Varian things. The attack speed's slow from the keep, actually preventing me from killing him faster, which is hilarious. I think I die here, but we get the cap. As I can say, that was just a little bit of a fiesta moment once the game was pretty much over. So, not too much talk about Varian this time. Hopefully you got a couple little tips just in terms of positioning, in terms of what my mentality was playing Varian into a taunt hero, into a cleanse hero rather of Uther. And hopefully you saw a couple of my things. Also, hopefully you saw the damage Varian can do, and that you can almost solo kill Tracer and Junkrat. Even, I'd say this Tracer messed up a lot of our times with the 1v1. She really was blowing a recall at bad times and should have just triple blinked away the second she saw me. That being said, that's still a ton of threat that you can put on her just as one hero, and even with the cleanse, you really can't, like, there was no trust between the Tracer and the Uther. There was no the Tracer saying, I'm going in, cleanse me the second Varian charges me. And heck, even if he did, I was kind of mind gaming the Uther by charging and not taunting half of the time. Warbringer allows me to do that and then have charge back up in 4 seconds. So a lot of fun things you can do with that. Really just a lot of threat, and Varian as a hero really just limits what heroes like Uther, sorry, not Uther, what Tracer and even Greymane to an extent can do. So hopefully I showed off a little bit of Varian too, but I spent most of this game kind of talking about Towers of Doom and controlling this bot fort, because something I'm very passionate about. I see a lot of people take this bot fort and then just give it back because they won't clear these waves, because they'll let the enemy team get a huge wave pushed in, get like half of it for free, and then like Li Ming will just like poke it down. Something that really shouldn't happen. Once you get this fort, you should control it to the end, and I hope that's something that you can implement in your own games. Also worth mentioning, if teammates aren't following your advice, people are dying to calls or stuff, talk to them. You saw me literally ping and type Tracer is coming top, or just Tracer because I didn't have time for the full sentence, to signal my Sonya that she was getting ganked. She backed off accordingly, and my team counter-ganked and got 2 kills off that. That put us back in the game, or at least back in even XP, and gave us a huge like springboard into the rest of the game. So, talk to your teammates. You want to run any of these things you see in pro play, in my HL videos, anything, talk to them. Sometimes they're not going to respond well, unfortunate, but sometimes you'll find people that do want to get better and other people that do want to do these type of things together. Like, if you're wanting to work with people, there's a good chance other people want to work with people too, and they're just not sure how to do it. So talk with people, type, ping, voice chat, whatever you think is most effective. You want to run anything as a tank. You'll probably saw it in this video. I was pinging my taunt, like my taunt cooldown whenever it was like 8 seconds, basically saying Stukov, hold your jets into for 7 seconds. My taunt is almost up, the second's up, I'll use it, and then you can combo off of it. Little things like that go a long way with heroes like Varian that are so similar, that work so much on combining CCs. So just a few things for you to think about in your future games. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, hope you learned a bit, and hope you have a nice day. Good. See you for now.